Some love stories play out in private. This one played out on the biggest stage in the world. With a single post, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift managed to freeze the internet in its tracks. Their joint engagement announcement wasn't just news. It became an event, a cultural earthquake that rattled both the NFL and the music industry at the same time. Within minutes, the numbers were staggering. Millions of likes, record-breaking reposts, and fan theories flooding every corner of social media. Everyone wanted to see it, share it, and talk about it. The photo itself wasn't extravagant. No staged backdrop, no flashy magazine spread. Just two people, side by side, sharing what felt like a personal victory. Travis looked like a man who had just won the biggest game of his life, while Taylor radiated the quiet confidence of someone who knew this moment belonged to her, and her alone. And that subtle, stripped-down reveal only amplified the shockwave. Because the simpler it seemed, the more authentic it felt. And fans ate it up. But the engagement wasn't just about the ring or the photo. It was about everything that came before it. For 2 years, whispers, sightings, and rumors built this romance into a global obsession. So when the announcement finally dropped, it wasn't just a surprise. It was the climax of a story fans had been tracking since the very first hint of a spark. And if you thought this post broke the internet, the story of how it all began might just be even wilder. Before we continue, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to get all the latest updates on celebrities and shocking reveals.
It was such a wild romantic gesture to just be like, I want to date you.
The actual proposal wasn't broadcast in real time, but that hasn't stopped fans from piecing together every possible detail. According to reports, Travis Kelce planned the moment carefully. Something personal, away from the blinding lights of stadiums and sold-out arenas. Insiders suggest it happened during a private getaway, a setting where Taylor could be surrounded by the people closest to her while still keeping the moment intimate. What we know for sure is that hours later, they decided to share it with the world, and that's when Instagram all but imploded. Sharp-eyed fans didn't just see a photo. They saw a puzzle waiting to be solved. The ring, of course, became the first obsession. Jewelers were quick to weigh in, estimating it as one of the most expensive engagement rings ever worn by a celebrity. Then came the location hunt. People zoomed in on backgrounds, fabrics, and even reflections, trying to uncover where exactly the proposal had taken place. And in true Swiftie fashion, entire threads sprang up online decoding every piece of Taylor's outfit, wondering if there were hidden Easter eggs buried in her jewelry or nail polish. But beyond the details, the vibe was clear. This wasn't a publicity stunt. It felt real, raw, and perfectly timed. By the end of the day, #Kelce Swift engagement was trending globally, and even celebrities were chiming in. NFL teammates dropping heart emojis, pop stars offering congratulations, and brands shamelessly using the moment for clout. Still, the biggest question wasn't about the ring or the photo. It was about the journey. How did one of football's fiercest competitors win the heart of the world's biggest superstar? The engagement wasn't just about two people starting a new chapter. It was about the collision of two worlds that rarely mix. Sports fans and Swifties suddenly found themselves standing shoulder to shoulder in the same conversation, and the result was an internet phenomenon unlike anything we've seen before. Within hours of the announcement, NFL reporters were analyzing the engagement like it was breaking trade news, while pop culture outlets treated Travis like he'd just dropped a chart-topping single. It wasn't just trending. It was everywhere. The numbers proved it. Engagement on the Chiefs' official pages doubled overnight, with tens of thousands of new followers that had nothing to do with football and everything to do with Taylor. At the same time, Travis's podcast, New Heights, saw a spike in listeners, with Swifties pouring in just to catch even the smallest mention of Taylor. It was a ripple effect no PR team could have engineered. Taylor brought music fans to the NFL, and Travis brought football fans deeper into pop culture. Even brands couldn't resist jumping into the frenzy. Spotify slyly tweeted lyrics, Nike reposted congratulatory messages, and fast food chains tried to make memes out of the moment. Suddenly, every corner of the internet was looking for ways to tie themselves to the Kelce Swift story. But this kind of impact doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It's the result of years of speculation, viral sightings, and the slow build of a romance that had been turning heads since its earliest spark. And that spark? It all started with a friendship bracelet. The story of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift didn't begin with an arranged meeting through Hollywood circles or a staged introduction at a glitzy party. Instead, it started with something simple: a friendship bracelet. Back in the summer of 2023, Taylor's Eras Tour was in full swing, and one of the quirks of the concert experience was fans trading handmade bracelets, each one carrying lyrics, inside jokes, or secret messages. Travis, already a superstar tight end with the Kansas City Chiefs, showed up to one of her shows with his own plan. He didn't just want to see Taylor perform. He wanted to meet her, and he had made her a bracelet with his phone number on it. It sounds bold, almost too good to be true, but that tiny detail became the first spark of one of the most talked about relationships of the decade. At first, Travis admitted on his podcast that he never actually got to give Taylor the bracelet, but the story caught fire online. Swifties dissected it, football fans laughed about it, and suddenly the idea of a Kelce-Swift romance didn't feel so far-fetched. From there, rumors spread like wildfire. Fans began linking the two, speculating whether Taylor had reached out and dissecting every interview clip for hidden clues. Travis played it cool, but he didn't exactly deny the possibility either. That playful, almost accidental moment of vulnerability, an NFL star admitting he tried to shoot his shot with a bracelet, made the story irresistible. And soon, what began as a viral anecdote started turning into something much bigger. Because after the bracelet came whispers, sightings, and the kind of speculation that only grows louder when Taylor Swift is involved. At first, it was just whispers. Fans speculating on TikTok, blurry paparazzi photos, and podcasts hinting at what might be going on behind the scenes. But then came the turning point. Taylor Swift showing up at a Kansas City Chiefs game in September 2023. The sight of her in a luxury suite, cheering next to Travis's mom Donna, wasn't just a casual hangout. It was confirmation that something real was happening. Overnight, the rumors became headlines, and suddenly the sports world and the music world collided in a way nobody saw coming. From there, the appearances started stacking up. Cameras caught Taylor leaving stadiums with Travis, their hands brushing smiles that didn't need explanations. Paparazzi photos of date nights in New York City only fueled the frenzy, with fans breaking down every detail from their matching outfits to the restaurants they chose. Even late-night hosts couldn't resist jumping on the story, turning their romance into the punchline of monologues. But the strongest proof didn't come from a staged reveal. It came from the way Travis himself carried it. On his podcast with his brother Jason, Travis never overshared, but he didn't dodge the subject either. Instead, he leaned into it with a grin, dropping just enough comments to keep fans hooked without ruining the mystery. It was a balancing act that worked, keeping both football followers and Swifties equally invested. The real shockwave came when people started realizing just how much Taylor's presence was reshaping the world Travis came from, the NFL. When Taylor Swift entered Travis Kelce's world, she didn't just walk into his private life, she changed the NFL overnight. The first time she was spotted in a Chiefs suite, the league's viewership spiked, and ticket prices for Kansas City games reportedly jumped by over 40%. Stadiums started filling with a new demographic. Fans in sequined outfits and friendship bracelets, cheering alongside die-hard football regulars. Suddenly, NFL Sundays had a whole new audience, and executives couldn't ignore it. The Swiftie effect became impossible to measure with just numbers. Broadcasts began cutting to Taylor's reactions after every big play. Jerseys with Kelce on the back sold out nationwide. Even casual fans who had never watched a football game were tuning in, not just to see the Chiefs, but to catch a glimpse of Taylor in the stands. Overnight, Travis went from being one of the league's best tight ends to becoming a household name in circles that had never cared about football before. But it wasn't just the NFL that saw the ripple effect. Travis's podcast, New Heights, exploded in popularity, drawing a flood of new listeners curious about his personality beyond the field. And yet, as big as this shift was, it was only part of the picture. Because outside of stadiums and stages, Travis and Taylor were quietly building something even bigger, an empire that stretched beyond football and music. For Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, their engagement isn't just about romance. It's about two empires merging into one. Individually, both have been powerhouses in their fields. Taylor's record-shattering tours and billion-dollar music empire make her arguably the most influential artist of her generation. Travis, on the other hand, has built his reputation not only as one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history, but also as a growing brand in his own right. Together, the possibilities seem limitless. Take fashion, for example. Just hours after the engagement news went viral, Travis announced his collaboration with American Eagle under his lifestyle brand, True Colors. The timing couldn't have been better. Suddenly, his face was everywhere, tied to one of the biggest cultural moments of the year. Meanwhile, Taylor continues to dominate the fashion conversation every time she steps outside. Her outfits instantly selling out or sparking new trends. The crossover between their fan bases means their influence doesn't just add up, it multiplies. Then there's entertainment. Travis's podcast, New Heights, has turned into a cultural staple, while Taylor's Eras Tour film proved she can dominate both the music and movie industries. Together, they blur the lines between sports, entertainment, and business in a way no couple has done before. Every public appearance becomes a headline. Every project a guaranteed success. But beyond the money and influence lies the bigger question: what's next? With Travis approaching the final stretch of his football career and Taylor at the height of her global dominance, their engagement has fans asking what kind of future they're really building. And that brings us to the final chapter: the uncertainty, the speculation, and the possibilities that lie ahead. Now that the engagement is official, the spotlight has only gotten brighter. For Travis Kelce, the timing is especially interesting. At 35, he's nearing the twilight of his career, with whispers of retirement growing louder each season. Reports suggest the Chiefs are preparing for the possibility that the 2025 season could be his last. If true, that means his engagement to Taylor marks not just a personal milestone, but the beginning of his life beyond football. Will he walk away from the game after one more run at the Super Bowl, stepping into the next chapter hand in hand with Taylor? Or does he have one final masterpiece left to write on the field? On Taylor's side, she's at the absolute height of her power. Her Eras Tour shattered records. Her influence spans fashion, film, and culture. And now she's preparing for one of the most anticipated celebrity weddings in history. Fans are already speculating on everything, from what her dress might look like to which songs she might secretly write about this chapter. And if history tells us anything, Taylor knows how to turn her personal life into art that resonates worldwide. Together, they represent something rare, a couple whose impact reaches far beyond their own industries. They've redefined what it means to be a power couple, with the ability to shape sports, music, fashion, and even social media trends all at once. So, what happens next? A wedding, watched by millions? A farewell season that ends in glory? Or the beginning of a new empire that takes both of them into uncharted territory? Whatever the answer, one thing's certain: Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift aren't just living a love story. They're rewriting the playbook on what it means to be cultural icons. If you like this video, do leave a like and share your thoughts below. Stay tuned for more untold stories and subscribe.